CIET NCERT presents audiobook Kriti, textbook of arts for grade 7.
Chapter 2 Say More Without Speech, MIME.
Page 20.
On the right side, there is a QR code. When you scan the QR code, you will be able to get additional resources of this chapter. On the left side, there is a mask demonstrating expressions. MIME, as an art form, speaks the universal language of silence. It can make the invisible become visible and make silence the most powerful and loudest form of communication. Marcel Marceau, a well-known French mime artist. On the left side is the image of mime. Imagine a situation where you are at an important event and nobody is allowed to talk. You suddenly remember that you had kept your umbrella outside as you were waiting for your friend before the event began, but forgot to bring it inside with you. You are in the middle of the hall and cannot walk outside. You have to tell your friend sitting near the entrance door to go out and bring it in for you. How would you communicate? Sit in the pairs in the class and communicate this to each other. You can take turns doing this. If possible, you can also continue the conversation. For example, the friend replies by saying, "It is not possible to walk out." You request again, saying it is important, and so on, but all in silence. What did you just do? Communicate using actions and expressions, right? You just did a mime bit. That was miming. On the left side, you will learn point number 1, what is mime? Point number 2, basic features of mime. Point number 3, advantages of mime. Point number 4, preparing for a show. Given is the image with the QR code. Page number 21. Called Mukh Abhinay in India, let us first get familiar with the words used in this form of performance. Here are some basic terms that you might be familiar with. Image number 1, facial expression, the emotion and reaction shown on the face. Image number 2, body language, hand gestures, body postures and actions made. Image number 3, energy, intensity and focus behind each action. Technique-based terms. Image number 1, mime, a form of acting that uses no words or sound. Could be a part of a bigger play with dialogues. The person performing this is also called a mime. Image number 2, pantomime, a theatrical performance that involves multiple actors and music. The show involves acting mostly in comedy. Image number 3, interactive, incorporating audience participation to make them a part of the illusion for more impact. So let us jump right in and try doing some mime. Page 22. Activity 2.1, individual activity. Since mime is all about performing without using a specific set or props, first you have to learn how to create an imaginary world and convince the audience of its existence. Think of an object that you use every day, say your pencil box. Now, pretend you are holding it in your hand. You have to remember the size and shape of it as you mime its presence in your hand. Now, try and enact how you would hold the pencil box as if it is filled with iron, same size and shape. Now, imagine it is fully empty. How would you show these changes? Try different options to experience an object without touching it. On the right side is an image where a teacher demonstrates the same activity to his students. Page 23. Now, before we actually begin MIME work, here are some basic tips to help you. Point number 1. Do not become the object, use the object. This is a common mistake made while showing an object. You have to show how you hold the object and not make your hand into the object. Here are some examples. Given is the image. Show a pair of scissors. Correct? Wrong. Holding a gun. Correct? Wrong. If you just pointed two fingers and moved them like a pair of scissors moved, then it is a mistake. If we can modify our fingers to create a gun, then how would you show a larger object? Say, a train or a car or a fridge. Hence, the first rule of MIME is to use the object. Point number 2. Establish the space, size, and weight of the object. To make imaginary objects more believable, a mime has to ensure that the actions are in line with the quality of object they are handling. A cricket ball, a basketball, a balloon, the size, weight, and the experience of each one is very different from the other. The image shows a girl catching a ball. Try doing actions of holding each one separately. With this in mind, let us play a fun game to learn this better. Given is the image of a girl and a boy doing some of these activities. Page 24. Activity 2.2. Team activity, full class. All of you sit in a circle. One of you volunteers to start with an imaginary object. The first person imagines an object, does an action to clearly depict it in terms of its shape, size, and weight. The object is then passed on to the next one. Next person receives it, does another action to add to the understanding of the object, and passes it on. Nobody can use sound or speech. Nobody must announce the name of the object. It is up to the understanding of the students and each one's ability to communicate. Basic, everyday objects like pen, a pair of scissors, or a watch can be shown. When the object is received, each one of you does a unique action that is not done before and then passes it on. Advanced, this also has everyone passing the object, but the object changes slightly with time. So, the action done by the first person would not be the same for the last person. For example, a huge ice cube melts with time, or a handful of sand keeps reducing in quantity as it slips through the fingers. Given is the image of some children displaying the activity. On the right side is a cylindrical shape in green color. Circle time. Point number 1. What is the most enjoyable aspect of performing without speech or props? Point number 2. What is the most difficult about performing mime? No use of speech or no use of props. Given is the image of a teacher with her students. Page number 25. 3 pillars of a mime show. Any successful mime show must have the following 3 aspects. Remember, all these have to be practiced both individually and as a group. Point number 1. Imagination. For a mime show, along with working on your body language and expressions, the most crucial one is imagination. While the first 2 are entirely about the performer and their effort, imagination involves both performer and the audience. Below is an image of mime. Unless the audience participates in the imagination of the objects, situations, and the environment of the story, it cannot be a successful show. This give and take between the audience and actor, making the show unique and enjoyable, is facilitated by imagination. Point number 2. Exaggeration. This is the technique of making movement, actions, and expressions larger than life. Since mime relies on silent communication, it becomes important to ensure subtle details are visible and understood. This is specifically important when performances are held for a large audience. This is similar to the Natyadharmi style of acting from Chapter 1, which includes dramatic and stylized techniques like slow motion, repetition, and over-expression to bring out this impact. Point number 3. Costume and makeup. Unlike drama or dance, costume and makeup in mime do not directly depict the character. It is primarily neutral, with subtle differences to show variation in character. Given at the bottom of page number 25 are 3 images. First, imagination through mime. Second image, exaggeration through mime. And the third image, costume and makeup in mime. Page 26. Costume. Shirt and pant is fully black if the backdrop is white, or a mix of black and white in the form of strips on shirt or accessories like gloves, socks, or suspenders. Makeup. Highlighted facial features with contrasting colors of white, black, and red is the main feature of makeup. This is to ensure good visibility and exaggeration of expressions. Character. Specific indications are subtly present in makeup. Mime, a universal language for equality. The most striking quality of mime is no speech. This breaks all barriers of language across the world. Emotions are universal. So the situations depicted in MIME from any state in the country or any country in the world are understood by any person from any corner of the world. Is it not amazing? The next quality that stands out in MIME is black and white costumes and a common white makeup for all. This has a powerful quality of eliminating the bias that comes with stereotypes of people based on the clothes they wear. It is pure storytelling by people who could be from any society, from any part of the world. It can even break gender stereotypes. For example, a scene with miming underground or building construction would have women carrying loads of weight as the costume they wear is the same in MIME. MIME is also used as a powerful tool to help people come out of their trauma or get over bad experiences, as it gives them the freedom to express and share without the fear of being judged. Given is the image of a pantomime performance. Page 27. Activity 2.3 Group MIME. The class is divided into groups of 5 to 10. You will be given a scene to enact. You can use all the properties and sets that are necessary for the scene. Enact it like a regular play by your group. Now, your team has to mark the set placements in your minds and remove the chairs, tables, etc. You now enact the whole scene without any sets. The props held in your hand like walking stick, bow and arrow, etc. can still be used. Once you are familiar with the sets, the props are also removed. Enact the whole scene without any sets or props. Practice. Perform your daily routine from when you wake up in the morning till you get to bed at night in MIME. Try and remember the minor details and depict it in your actions. Music. You can have background music to suit the situation of your act. But make sure it is instrumental music with no lyrics or speech. Given is the image of a boy miming getting up from the bed. Given on the right side of the page are children performing MIME. Note to the teacher. The scene they pick for enactment can be their own creation or any familiar scene. Encourage the groups to come up with scenes and situations that break stereotypes or promote inclusivity among them. Page 28. Given is a rectangular image in green. Brain booster. Make up magic. Create a mime. Point number 1. Make teams of 2. Point number 2. Try to show expressions for these situations. Point number 3. Look at your friend's face and draw their expression in the space given. Observe and note the details of eyebrows, forehead, cheeks, and eyes. Point number 4. Discuss how you can exaggerate more and improve on the expression. Point number 5. Try enacting the situation with the entire body. How do your actions help in communicating better? Point number 6. Make a small story around it and enact it with your friends. Given are 4 phases. First, opening a stuck jar lid. Second, lifting a heavy suitcase. Third, eating a sour lemon. Fourth, pulling a heavy rope. Page 29. Assessment. Chapter 2. Say more without speech. MIME. The table given in green has 5 columns. CG, C. Learning outcomes, teacher, self. CG 2, C 2.1, learning outcomes, understands the uniqueness of MIME and its difference and similarities with drama. CG 2, C 2.2, can visualize objects accurately in shape, size, and weight and use it in performance. CG 2, C 2.3, can bring in stories from personal experience to interpret in MIME. CG 2, C 2.4, uses the advantages of MIME and its universality to perform on these themes based on inclusivity or breaking gender stereotypes. CG2, C 2.5, can put together group performance integrating music and humor. Teachers' comments and students' observations. Fill in the blanks. End of chapter 2.
Kriti, you were just listening to this audiobook, Textbook of Arts for Grade 7. Narration, Richa Jain. Sound recordist, Manju Kumari. Assistance in production, Soumya Malik. Directed and produced by Vimlesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.